Hey everyone, welcome to Three Guys One Movie. I'm Angus,
Zach.
and we watched You Were Never Really Here. We're sort of recording this a while after we saw the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I rewatched it again recently, but Zach hasn't seen it in a while.
Yeah, I've only seen it the one time in theaters.
Yeah, you liked it though, right?
Yeah, it was good. I think it was almost like a month ago that we saw it.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed it. It was really good. It's a very solid performance from Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, this is my favorite leading actor performance of the year so far.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, that guy is.
He's
always
so
good.
yeah. Well, everything he's in.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what movie he's in.
He always does a good performance.
He's probably the only person who can make the Joker standalone work. It's the only chance that it has. But yeah, this movie's great in terms of acting.
Yeah.
Very difficult film though, in terms of it's not a movie that you can casually watch.
Oh God, no, not at all.
It's a very you have to be figuring the movie out as you're watching it,
Mm-hmm.
and or doing what I did and watching it again after reading up on some theories and analysis videos. There's a whole bunch of those on YouTube.
There's for every movie these days.
Yeah, it's a very tricky movie to figure out exactly what it's saying. You can figure out the general theme and what happens, and the ending is very clear.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of stuff towards the middle of the movie that is very up in the air.
Yes, it's very
and
much so.
very. I love this movie's style, like in terms of how things are presented. I love how fractured everything is, kind of like the main character himself. Like, there's so much stuff in this movie. The way that it's edited is very unnatural,
Mm-hmm.
but it really works for the kind of stuff that's happening in the movie. And even, like, the way that certain scenes are shot. Like, one of the most impressive things in this movie, it's not necessarily that the fight choreography is great, but I love that there's an entire sequence of just him going through this area that's pretty much a brothel full of children.
Yeah.
And hacking down a bunch of people with a hammer, but it's shot entirely from black and white security cam footage.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. Like, it never gets close during that whole scene. It's all very distant.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of the violence, it's not, like, there's some violence.
There's very
on screen.
little on screen.
Yeah, a lot of it is all off screen.
Honestly,
like,
apart from the ending, that's like the main thing that you see on screen.
And another guy gets shot and you see
Yeah.
blood splatter on his face.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, those two shots are like the most violent scenes in the film. Everything else is done off screen, left up to your imagination, basically, which can be more effective.
There's a lot of stuff in this movie too that is just very weird.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, it's going to turn them off of it
Mm-hmm.
because the movie's very weird. And even like when we saw it in the theater, there was one specific scene that I remember inducing laughter, which was not a serious, or it was not a laugh-worthy scene.
Which scene was that?
When he's laying on the ground beside the guy that he just shot, and they start singing together.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And I don't know if that was an uncomfortable laugh because they weren't sure how to deal with what they were seeing, or whether they actually thought it was funny.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That scene worked for me.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really interesting way to present that or whatever. And it's a like I've said this already, but it's a tricky movie. Like, the first time I watched it, I thought the movie was pretty literal in terms of, like, most of the stuff that happened. But watching it a second time, I kind of got the vibe that a lot of the movie didn't really happen.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, that, like, the little girl is sort of this version of himself, almost, that he's sort of, like, he dealt with an abusive father, and even the whole hammer element of it, it's referenced that his dad used a hammer for things and whatever. There's so much stuff that's, like, brought up between the two, where I kind of got this vibe where some of the violence in the movie is almost him trying to figure out what he would have wanted to do to protect his younger self.
Mm.
And there's sort of like I'm not sure how much of it is used literally and how much of it is used, like, metaphorically.
Okay.
Like, there's even almost a question of whether he possibly killed his own mom.
Oh, okay.
I kind of got that vibe too the second time around. Like, it's weird. This movie sort of, I picked up on little tiny details where I was like, is that? I don't know.
I was gonna say, yeah, like, seeing it the only the one time, like, I did take things a lot more literally.
Yeah.
Like that the people killed his mom and stuff like that, and the girl is like a girl. But yeah, hearing that makes perfect sense.
But even
thinking about it now, yeah,
even
that could work.
Even taking it literally, I think it still functions.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Like the first time I saw it, I still really loved
Yeah,
it.
like, I mean,
But
the third act, it gets a little bit surreal and
Yeah.
it could turn people off of it. But
would
no,
get-
all in all, it still functions as a
It would
cohesive
definitely get
narrative.
called style over substance by a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I didn't find it that way. I think there's enough substance there that it's not style over substance, but for a lot of people, it's going to turn them off of it. For me, it really worked. It's a movie that I think is worth watching more than once because you will probably get more out of it, especially if you
definitely.
read into it and then try watching it again with that sort of context in mind. not that you should just listen to someone else's opinion and be like, that's what the movie's about. Like, I feel like this is a movie where you could probably form your own opinion on it. It could be totally different from what I just suggested, and it would be fine.
Yeah.
Like, you don't, not everyone has to have the same takeaway, because I think that's part of the experience of this movie, is it sort of wants you to figure it out while you're watching it.
Mm-hmm.
But really well made from, like, every aspect. Like, even just putting aside the story, the soundtrack of this was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
Really
Johnny
good.
Greenwood, same one who did Phantom Thread.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Really awesome
Phenomenal
soundtrack. One of my favorite soundtracks so far this year. One of my favorite performances this year.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, Joaquin Phoenix is always good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a whole ton to say besides that, because I'm just going to start repeating myself.
Yeah. Like,
but I would really highly recommend this movie. It's one of my favorite movies this year. It's only climbed up my list since watching it. Like, I consider it better now than I did when I first saw it. So yeah, I'd really highly recommend it.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it too. Like, I'm looking forward to watching it again. Yeah, like I it's kind of sad because I've seen other things I've been thinking about more, so I haven't really thought about it much since. But yeah, like, definitely I do want to rewatch it and kind of think about it a little bit more.
Yeah, I'll be buying it when it comes out on Blu-ray, DVD, whatever, and probably watching it a few more times and reading into it some more. It's just one of those movies. But I guess number-wise, I would go 9. This is one of my favorite movies this year. I really liked it, and it's only grown on me since seeing it.
I give, like, right now, I give it an 8. Might change later, but as of right now, an 8. I think some of the surreal stuff near the end kind of threw me off a bit. Not to say that it was like it didn't feel unnecessary, like it felt unnecessary, but it's just like, I don't know, I didn't connect with it that much. But no, it was still like a very good performance, really well shot, very well edited. Yeah, I'd recommend it. But kind of prepare to watch it. It's not like one you can just kind of like casually throw on.
Yeah.
It's one you gotta pay attention to.
It's heavy too.
Mm-hmm.
It's not light on subject matter. But yeah, we both recommend it. So that sort of wraps it up. Our social media links to Letterboxd and Twitter and all that will be down below, and we'll catch you next time.
Peace.